Hi, friends. My name is Eva. I am a loan officer with the American Funding, also known as the Loan Genie. And today we have a special guest, a home buyer. And with nothing more to say, please help me welcome Miss Veronica. Hi, Veronica.
Hi, Eva. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. We wanted to share a little bit of what your experience has been purchasing actually two homes now, right? You're on your second home. Tell us, how was the process? Was it like overwhelming? How was your first experience, and how does that compare to your second experience?
Sure. It's always a little overwhelming when you have so many paperwork and so many things together. So already, since this was our second home, we kind of already knew the things that we needed, the paperwork, the documents. So when my husband and I were first talking about selling our home and buying a new home, we pulled out like the laundry list of items that we needed, and that really helped us come to you prepared with answers to all the questions you were going to ask us, like how long have you been working at your current employer, check stubs, credit score, things like that. So we already had that handy with us so that we could have an easier conversation and have the answers ready for you.
I'm glad that you mentioned, and by the way, you guys did fantastic because that is true. They were super prepared with all the documents. It was just unheard of, right? Usually we have to have a couple of conversations before all the documents are gathered, but gathering your documents is super important. It just makes the process a lot faster and easier on everyone. But I'm glad that you mentioned that you and your husband had a conversation of what you really needed in the next home, right? Your family is growing. So it's very different buying your first house than moving on to what the second house would be. So how was that? Like, did you have to give up some of your wants versus your needs? How did you put your list together?
Yeah, absolutely. So with our first home, we had a 2-year-old at the time and a newborn. So we weren't looking for such big space. We felt like a two-bedroom was fine. Then, after living there for about 3 years, we started to get a little uncomfortable, right? It started to feel very tight for us. And we made the decision to start looking. And, a little bit of the things we were looking for was a bigger closet for me, a
Important.
den or some sort of like gathering area for the whole family to just sit down and relax and enjoy each other's company. My husband was looking for a big backyard to entertain, so that was a big thing on our list. We love to entertain. We love to have people over. So those were a few of the musts that we were looking for, and a 3 bedroom, enough for the growing family. So fast forward to the house that we're on now. We have a huge backyard, allows us to entertain. We have 3 bedrooms. We have an area for the family to gather, which was supposed to be for the family to gather, and my husband converted it to a gym. So there you go. But nonetheless, it gave us an opportunity again to just kind of have something in mind. There's always a lot of new homes in the market, and we wanted to make sure that we had at the core the items that we were specifically looking for.
So super important then you would say to know exactly what you want as you're moving on to the next property, right? Your second purchase. What would you say were some of those, what would be some of those aha moments for you going through the process of buying your second home? What are some of those tips that you can share with us?
Sure. So I think the process the second time around was looking at the neighborhood, right? So driving around during the daytime, driving around at night, driving around, interestingly, during school hours when school was in session, right? Because a lot of the time you don't think about that, but if you live next to a school, then if you drive around like on the weekends, it looks empty, but at 8 a.m. in the morning on a Monday, it's going to look totally different. So I think those are some of the things that we did this time around, making sure that we're comfortable with the area, And an aha moment that we had, I guess, was just, ensuring that we were comfortable and familiar with our surroundings at the time.
So super, super important to know the area, just not just what you want in that house, but also making sure you're going to be safe and you're going to be comfortable in that space, right? Thank you so much. And of course, we know that the process of buying a house, although we try to make it seem like it's a breeze, it really isn't. It is. It is very intense. It is an emotional roller coaster. It is very stressful. You're making one of the largest purchases of your life. So it does become very stressful. There's a ton of paperwork that we're asking you for, and we need it like yesterday, right? What did you do to take care of you and your family going through this emotional roller coaster of buying a home?
Yeah, I would say take it one step at a time. The escrow period from the moment you make the decision, there's still 30 days until everything closes, sometimes more, sometimes a little bit less. But there's a lot of decisions that you have to make after you make the initial decision to go all in, right? So I feel like what really helped us was your hand holding. You really held our hand and told us, okay, next week we're going to have to decide on this. Today, I need you to send me this. And it's really taking it one step at a time and not being completely overwhelmed with all the requests and all the different information that's needed. And just know that we're in good hands with you. We felt really comfortable from the very beginning. This was the second time that you were helping us. So, it's that level of comfort and knowing that you're going to have our back, and also not allowing ourselves to get completely overwhelmed by everything. But at the end of the day, keep in mind the end game. We're going to get ourselves in a better situation.
Thank you. Thank you for saying all of that. I think I'm going to do more interviews with you. But on my end, it's super rewarding to be able to help you and to help your family, and to know that what we're doing is really walking you through a very convoluted process, but holding your hand through it and making sure that you get to that finish line. Because at the end of the day, the one that has the keys to your home is going to be you, right? And you're also responsible for your own mortgage payment. So we want to make sure we help you as much as possible. So thank you for that. Any tips that you want to give somebody who's thinking of buying? They're really not sure. They may be having questions,
Sure.
doubts.
I'd say just take the first step, right? Like that's what's needed. If it's something that you're interested, it's the American dream, right? So it's something you're interested in. Take the first step, find the information you need to find, sit with that information, and then you could decide. For us, it was very overwhelming, but we took it a step at a time. Especially when you're signing the documents and you see that your last payment is in 2050, that's very overwhelming, but it's part of life, and it's your home for the rest of your life, if that's what you decide to. So at the end of the day, you're making the right decision for your family and for yourself.
Agreed, 100%. Thank you so much, Veronica, for joining us in the conversation and for all the information and sharing your experience with us. We truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.